Even though My Hero Academia was only gone for 1 week, I have to say I honestly missed the series a lot. Jumping back in with episode 14 of season 2, I have to say was an absolute treat. This old man, Deku's new mentor, is absolutely one of the most entertaining characters I've seen in this series. How he kind of bounces around from the old man kind of forgetting what's going on. I mean, just his entire personality. You think he's going to be the straight up, just kind of silly, like he's always going to forget. But he has this like switch that off and on, he'll just get into like game mode, into superhero mode, and just absolutely like push Deku to his limits and ask him questions so that he can ask himself like, what is it that I'm missing? Like, what am I doing wrong? And his personality not only just resonated so well with Deku himself, it was just so entertaining to watch. We've had so many, like, we've had silly characters, don't get me wrong, but he's one of the silliest and most entertaining next to All Might that I've seen in this series. And it's just so fun watching some of the other heroes as well, like Bakugo, pretty much get strung up by the person he's going to be mentoring with, saying, you know, Bakugo, you really got a sidekick persona, but you just lack manners, you lack all this stuff, and in a week, I'm going to teach you how to be a proper man, pretty much. All these other characters, like, I mean, I forget his name, I think it was Mineta or whatever his name is, like, he went with that giant girl and he's just forced to basically be her maid. It was just so entertaining seeing all of the different heroes in their individual locations. Some were doing better than others. Like, the meat and bones of the episode was actually watching Deku trying to learn about his ability. He also gets an upgrade on his suit, which is pretty awesome. But I like how, because All Might isn't someone who's a good teacher, which we definitely learned in this episode, as I mean, All Might's body was fit for One for All almost immediately, so he was just practical training with this teacher here. But in terms of Deku, I mean, that's not what he is. Like, he needs an actual teacher. He needs someone to explain the basics and ask him these questions, these kind of philosophical questions. And I like that because All Might and Deku are two completely different people. They may share the same ability, but they're two very different people, and Deku is just trying to imitate All Might. He thinks he has to be All Might because All Might only has a short while left before he's not going to be able to use his ability. He needs to be his successor. But that's his greatest weakness, but also strength, is he wants to be the strongest, but he's not willing to be himself. And I like how every time he uses his abilities, he's trying to just focus into one, you know, Detroit Smash or whatever it is. And I like how this is actually his biggest weakness because he's always focusing on one area, where we learn that essentially he needs to flow it through his entire body and kind of use it in that way, kind of be like a balance, a spring. He has to be flexible. He can't just focus on one area. That's part of his biggest weakness. And I like how this guy is not just giving him the answers, he's making Deku think for himself to figure out what it is. And Deku, being the clever bastard he is, he overcomes this because he is smart. He thinks on the fly. We definitely saw that with the sports festival. He's very good at thinking on the fly and figure out what's going on. But I like how it is, like him training in the alleyway at night, trying to basically rebound off the walls, kind of like put his ability into his hands and then to his feet, but that kept failing. And then eventually when you see, oh, I actually have to have it always kind of coursing through my body. This training is going to be really fun because not only do we got a fantastic new character, we're gonna see Deku just excel with his abilities far past anything we've seen in the series so far, and that's really interesting. I mean, and then on the other side we get to see the hero killer, who's basically trying to be recruited by the big baddies, and he's pretty much giving them the middle finger. And I mean, I've heard some people say, like, he's not just a straight-up evil villain. I mean, it seems like based on the fact that he's a hero killer, and he has, like, his morals of, like, he only wants to kill, it seems like who he thinks are, like, dirty heroes, maybe people who don't deserve to be a hero. Maybe he only thinks a certain type of person should be a hero, and that's why he goes after. He's still completely wrong and evil, but he does stick out from some of the others who are just like, we're gonna be bad and just take over the world. Him, he's like, I'm gonna clean up the town, it seems like what he's trying to go for, because based on the fact his name is the hero killer, and he refuses literally joining and killing people for mindless reasons, so it definitely seems like that's kind of like his motives. But I mean, he's still evil in his own way. I mean, if you're killing people and ripping their powers away, you're evil no matter what, even if you do have a more righteous reason than some of the other villains. But I have to say, My Hero Academia is really continuing to just do something interesting with each arc. I mean, season 1 was fun, but the second season here with the tournament arc that we have, and now into this kind of like training, but also like the hero killer arc as well, it feels like they're doing something new with each arc here, introducing some new characters, giving that the charm that we love with the series, just the comedy moments, but also like the kind of emotional moments that really make you just kind of hyped, even when nothing like amazing is happening. And even when it's just like Deku like pulling out that fish cake saying like, I'm this, I'm the food, that's why, I'm only focusing on putting the heat in one area, not the entire body. There's so much to really love with this series, and I think they're doing a brilliant job not only characterizing these characters, but also bringing us in new characters and new formulas to make the series constantly feel refreshing And it's going to be interesting to see what Deku will be able to do, because I'm almost confident that he's going to be going up against a hero killer with probably one, if not more, of his classmates, because even if Deku gets 5% of his power going through his body, there's no way that he will be able to take out a villain by himself. I don't see that unless they're just going to go the shonen route of just they win for the sake of it, which I don't think My Hero Academia would do that. I think it's more intelligent than that, but it's going to be really interesting to see how this fight's going to go down. But as always, absolutely loved it. The OST was great with the openings and endings. Just, this was a great episode. I'm really excited for next week's episode. I'm glad we don't have any more week breaks as of yet, unless, you know, they have to stall because of production issues, but I can't wait to see what episode 15 will bring. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Did you love the episode? Do you hate it? Do you think it's just okay? Let me know your thoughts, and before you leave, smack that like button to show your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.